Welcome back, beer tubers. Today we're taking a look at the latest release in Karl Strauss's 12 Days of Christmas, and this is for Scowling Owls. This is what they're calling a Holiday Belgian Tripel, and it's a 9% beer, so it's kind of, you know, about probably on the higher end of triple maybe. I mean, it's kind of up there, about on par though. Their kind of twist to it is using Amarillo and Mount Rainier hops. So thanks to Karl Strauss for sending this to me so I can review it for you guys. Got it poured out. It's a very clear, it's a deep gold into light orange color, bright white head, good carbonation coming up. Definitely carbonation you want to see on this style of beer. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, it's a mix of malt, hops, and yeast ester for sure. Definitely getting a little bit of banana notes, some other, you know, typical yeast spiciness, you know, that sort of clovey character. A little bit of a citrus to it, big breadiness, a little bit of an earthy note to it as well. So it smells like a drier type of beer on the aroma, definitely dominated by the yeast, as you know the style usually is. So let's dig in. Cheers. Wow, that's pretty drinkable. I mean, I wasn't picking up any alcohol in the nose. Not really getting any of the flavors. Very well masked. Very dry, bready beer. What you'd like to see in a triple. A lot of triples are too sweet. To me, at least initially, this beer isn't too sweet, which is nice. So up front, you get some sweetness. That sweet bready note is present. And it goes a little more like biscuity character. And they talk about using Vienna malt on the bottle. And definitely picking up that Vienna malt character. Almost goes crackery, biscuity. And but there's a little bit of sweetness in there. I'm guessing it's a Pilsner malt base, not entirely sure. But they do a lot of lagers there, so I'm guessing Pilsner malt. You get that little like sweetness from that as well. Get that up front, and then midway through you pick up a little bit of like a bittering note coming from the hops, which kind of lends it for just an ever slight citrus note, but you get a lot of like an earthy character to the beer. I'm guessing that's the Mount Rainier hops kind of coming into play. So there's sort of like, it's kind of interesting, you kind of go sweet, bitter, and then dry with the big yeast character. Good amount of banana character. You're sort of picking that up midway through, which sort of adds a little bit of the sweetness. The finish, though, is a lot of that yeast ester, slightly phenolic character to expect. And if I remember right, they're using the Westmalle yeast strain on this one. So, I mean, that's a classic triple, is the Westmalle triple, and I can kind of see some of the similarities to that beer. And a lot of like spiciness on the finish. Don't know if that could be hop character or not. So as I drink it a bit more, it's almost like you're getting a bit of like a spicy note and maybe a slight sweetness from the alcohol in the finish that kind of goes with the yeast, that sort of clovey, spicy phenolic note that the yeast is throwing out. And that kind of works well. You taste the alcohol just a little bit. It's still really well masked. I mean, the beer's on the younger end side. And, you know, they're doing the holiday series to build these beers up for aging. And this one should have definitely the legs to age for being a pale beer. You know, triples aren't my favorite style because I typically don't like that little bit of like banana note to it. But this is a little more mellow on the banana note. So I think they did a really good job with this one. If you're a fan of triples, definitely worth checking out. It's got what you want in a triple. It's got drinkability because it's dry. It's not overly sweet, which is what a lot of American breweries do with their triples, is they make them far too sweet. And this one's not. And if you like the Westmalle triple, this one's definitely worth trying out because they're using the same yeast strain. So yeah, definitely recommend checking out Karl Strauss's For Scowling Owls. Is a Belgian holiday, you know, slight American twist on the style with some of our Pacific Northwest hops. But yeah, check it out, guys. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.